Imagine this. You're still half asleep, your mind is soft, still sort of porous from dreaming, and then it happens. 6:03 a.m., that silent, urgent vibration of your phone. And before your feet even touch the floor, before you take a real full breath, your thumb just swipes.
Right.
Emails, news, notifications. In less than 10 seconds, your entire inner world has been completely colonized by the outside world's demands.
It's the definitive modern surrender. It really is. It's the moment where most of us lose the day before it's even begun. And not because we're unproductive, but because we let our consciousness get hijacked.
We just jump straight into logistics.
Exactly. Caffeinate, dress, rush. But the core idea we want to dive into today is that the morning, contrary to everything our hustle culture screams at us, it's the most sacred architecture of your entire day.
Sacred architecture. I really like that framing. It makes you stop seeing waking up as just this passive thing that happens to you.
It's an active choice, a moment of power. I mean, ancient traditions saw the moment of waking as an act of rebirth.
A fresh slate.
You're literally given a new consciousness, unburdened for a fleeting moment by yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's anxieties. The mission here isn't to cram in more productivity. It's a radical reclamation of your attention, which is truly the most precious currency you have.
That makes sense philosophically, but let's get practical for a minute. For ambitious people, people with massive deadlines and real pressure, why does this specific little window of time matter so much for real-world success?
Because this ancient wisdom is now being directly backed up by modern neuroscience.
Okay.
Researchers know that the brain's default mode network, the DMN, is at its most malleable in those first 30 minutes.
And the DMN is that part of the brain that's always sort of on in the background, planning, worrying, ruminating.
That's the one. It's your self-referential thought network.
Yeah.
And in that early morning state, your mind hasn't put on its armor yet. It's not the employee or the parent or the problem solver. It's just fluid, open, highly receptive to programming.
So that first half hour, we are literally wiring our nervous system for the emotional tone of the entire day ahead.
Precisely. If you start with chaos, the news, the crisis email, that overwhelming to-do list, you're programming your nervous system for reactivity, for stress.
You're setting yourself up to be triggered all day.
You are. But if you begin with stillness, breath, presence, intention, you're wiring your brain for clarity, for alignment. Mindfulness stops being a soft luxury and becomes the hard foundational basis for success.
But I hear DMN and malleability, and then I think of someone with 3 kids, a commute, a 6.15 school run. Stillness can sound like a total fantasy.
That's where the radical simplicity comes in. I think of Elena, the Silicon Valley founder we talked about. Outwardly, she had it all, right? The Series B funding, the TED Talk.
A huge success.
But internally, she was drowning, fragmented. Her mornings were just email triage before she'd even had a sip of water.
So she was successful despite her morning routine, not because of it.
Exactly. Her big insight from a retreat was it was so simple but profound. You cannot manage your day if you haven't first met yourself in it. She realized she was managing a caricature of herself, the stressed CEO, not her actual grounded self.
So what was her practical shift? It could have been a 2-hour meditation.
No, it was subtraction. 20 minutes, screen-free. She'd just sit, maybe watch the light change on the wall, and she asked herself one single transformative question.
Which was?
What quality do I want to embody today?
Not what do I need to get done?
Exactly. Not what to accomplish, but who do I want to be? Courageous, patient, clear.
That reframes the entire purpose of the day. You're deciding on the quality of the being before the doing.
And the results were immediate. Not just for her. The company didn't just grow faster, it grew wiser. Her decisions became calmer, more grounded. She went from chief firefighter to chief architect.
That openness really reminds me of that Zen concept of Shoshin, the beginner's mind.
It's the perfect connection. Shoshin's approaching each moment without all the baggage. The morning is your daily invitation to get back to that state. Think of your attention like a mirror. Overnight, the dust settles, it's clean. But if you immediately point that mirror at the storm of digital noise, you smear it instantly with fingerprints of fear, obligation. And it's incredibly hard to polish that mirror back to clarity by 3 p.m.
So the invitation is gentle, but the results are radical. Reclaim your morning as a sanctuary.
That's it. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. You just need maybe 10 minutes of undivided presence. Start with your breath, not to calm down, but just to come home to your body. That spirituality is embodied intelligence. It's not religious, it's just practical.
Okay, so 10 minutes screen-free. That's the first non-negotiable step. But then what? Once we've reclaimed that attention, what conscious direction do we give it to handle the chaos of deadlines, negotiations, all the things that push our buttons?
This is where we shift from just reserving the space to actively shaping it. In ancient wisdom, they call this sila, ethical discipline.
Which can sound a little rigid.
It can, but don't hear moralistic rules. Hear this. Sila is about creating the optimal conditions in which wisdom can arise. Think of it like tending a garden.
Okay.
You remove the weeds, resentment, comparison, you water the good soil, and insight just. It blossoms naturally. Tending this inner garden is the quietest, most powerful act of rebellion against the culture of constant hustle.
Discipline is an act of rebellion. I like that. So what are the pillars of this sila that we can apply right away?
We anchor it in 3 tangible areas: the body, the mind, and intention.
Let's start with the body.
First, the body, anchoring. Most of us treat our bodies like a vehicle to be fueled with coffee and just push.
Yeah.
But it's the temple of awareness. The practice here isn't an hour of intense exercise. It's just 3 minutes of presence in your physical form.
Like what does that look like?
Standing barefoot on the grass, just rolling your shoulders back and feeling the chair you're sitting in. It's embodied mindfulness.
And scientifically, that connects to interoception, right? The sensing of our internal states.
Absolutely. Introception, noticing that subtle tightening in your chest before the stress storm hits, is directly linked to emotional regulation. If you can feel that early tremor, you're way less likely to be hijacked by a reactive decision later on.
I'm thinking of CEO Marcus.
Yeah.
Classic case. Tense, checking Slack first thing. His body was basically prepping for battle by 7 a.m.
He was entirely future-focused. His shift was so simple: 2 minutes walking barefoot in his backyard. That's it. He said he felt ridiculous at first, but the result?
What happened?
In high-stakes negotiations, he stopped clenching his jaw. He could pause for a full 2 seconds before reacting. His team just said he became calmer, sharper, more human. He grounded his mind before the world could unground it.
Okay, so that's pillar 1. Pillar 2 is the mind. Meditation. A lot of people struggle here because they think it means having 0 thoughts.
That's the biggest myth out there. Meditation, or bhavana, isn't clearing the mind, it's cultivating it. You're training your awareness like a muscle. The most practical way is just mindfulness of breathing. You're not forcing silence, you just observe the breath. When the mind wanders, which it will, you gently, without judgment, just return to the breath.
And that's the revolutionary part for the competitive world learning, to see thoughts not as commands, but as, what was it? Weather patterns passing through the sky of awareness?
Exactly. You realize you don't have to become the storm of anxiety. You can be the sky stable, vast. That tiny gap between stimulus and response, that's where your freedom lives.
The pause before you send the angry email.
That's it. And freedom is where wise decisions are born. There was a Harvard study that found leaders who practice mindfulness make decisions that are 27% more aligned with their long-term values. They stop optimizing for the next 5 minutes and start for the next 5 years.
Strategic clarity.
Yeah.
Which brings us to pillar 3, intention. This is where a lot of productivity advice just falls flat.
Because it's all about aggressive goals. But goals without a deeper anchor are just another form of craving. We need to set an intention, not just a goal.
What's the difference?
A goal is what you want to achieve. Close 3 deals. An intention is who you want to be while you're achieving it.
Today, I will embody courage.
Yes, it's neurological priming. You're telling your brain which value filter to use for the day's choices. Think of Aisha, the single mother working 2 jobs, feeling totally exhausted. She shifted her intention from survive today to today I move with dignity.
And what changed?
Her income didn't instantly double, but her sense of agency tripled. She stopped apologizing for needing time for childcare. She negotiated a fairer schedule. She honored her own worth. That is Dharma in action.
Now you get to the paradox that I think really shocks ambitious people. You argue that true focus comes from non-attachment. That sounds a lot like apathy. If I'm not attached to winning, won't I try less?
It's the critical misconception, isn't it? We equate passion with clinging, I must win. But the tighter you grip an outcome, the more you suffer, and the less flexible you become.
So what is detachment then?
It's freedom from obsession. You work tirelessly, with full effort, but you're internally free from desperation about the result. It's what the Bhagavad Gita calls nishkama karma action, without attachment to its fruits.
So the commitment is to the action, not the outcome.
Exactly. And when you're not emotionally fused to the outcome, you can take smarter risks. You learn from failure instead of crumbling. You become anti-fragile.
Like that Berlin startup founder you mentioned?
Yeah. When investors pulled out, he didn't spiral. He gathered the team, calmly analyzed the data, and pivoted. His team trusted him not because he never failed, but because he never broke. Setbacks become information, not existential threats.
We've talked about reclaiming the morning for smarter action. Let's zoom out and challenge the whole definition of success. We're taught it's a tower of accomplishments. Is this spiritual work just a luxury you can afford after you've made it?
That is the core misconception we have to dismantle. The central truth is that true success isn't built on top of life. It emerges from beneath it.
The invisible architecture?
It is. It's the quality of your attention, your compassion, the stillness beneath your action. If you neglect that foundation, the tower will eventually fall.
So the inner work isn't the reward for success, it's the precursor.
Absolutely. This is the physics of abundance.
Yeah.
You cannot manifest outer abundance from inner scarcity. You can chase wealth and fame, but if the foundation is fear or a need to prove your worth, all that success just becomes a gilded cage.
But when your inner world is unified,
then reality begins to conspire with you. You become a clear channel. Ideas come, opportunities appear, people trust you. Not because you chased them with frantic desperation, but because you became available to them through your clarity.
the story of Daniel, the 35-year-old law partner, really drives this home. He had the penthouse, the career.
He had it all, and he felt hollow. His devastating insight was the one question his constant striving had blocked out.
I spent my life proving I'm worthy, but I never asked if this life is worthy of me.
Wow, that's a powerful question. His realignment was painful. He dropped unethical cases. He left the office at 6 p.m. to be with his kids. His income dropped 30% that first year.
Which must have been terrifying.
It was. But his fulfillment and sense of purpose tripled. And in the long run, it led to a higher, more wisely principled kind of success. Clients who valued integrity sought him out. He slept at night. He rebuilt his foundation. Spirituality doesn't distract from success. It purifies it.
Okay, so now for the final twist. The most counterintuitive practice of all. We've talked about what to do, but what if the most powerful practice is conscious non-doing? Why is just stopping so terrifying to us?
Because the achievement mind equates activity with worth. If I'm not producing, I'm not worthy. Conscious non-doing Wu Wei in Zen is about letting the silence fill you and remembering who you are beneath all your roles.
You are not your productivity.
You're not your net worth or even your morning routine. You're the awareness in which all of that arises.
And from that empty space, that's where real creativity emerges.
Exactly. Breakthroughs, Einstein, Newton, they don't come from frantic, stressed effort. They emerge from stillness. The ultimate rebellion in our world is daring to be unproductive for 10 minutes, to sit in the void and just allow instead of demand.
This brings it all back to a cost analysis for everyone listening. We measure success by what it gives us. But maybe we should be asking, what does your success cost you?
Does it cost your sleep, your relationships, your integrity?
If it costs your soul, it's not success.
It's not. We must strive for internal sustainability, for right livelihood. Success and spirituality aren't opposites, they're partners. The invitation is to integrate them.
Starting right now.
So here's the question to carry with you today. What if the most important thing you do today isn't something you accomplish, but someone you become?
And to make that practical, right now, tomorrow morning, what if you wait just 10 seconds before you reach for your phone?
10 seconds to breathe. 10 seconds to remember you're alive. 10 seconds to meet yourself before you meet the world.
The future isn't built in boardrooms. It's born in the quiet moments before breakfast. And in those 10 seconds, everything can change. Because focus isn't something you chase. It's something you return to.